Hi, welcome to Forgotten Legends of Sound. Today we are going to do the Ks. So we're just like knocking these out today since we all had time. So yeah, do you guys want to just jump in there?
Yeah, let's get it.
Let's do it, man.
All right. So first up, we've got Kaki Avatara. This is the end mantra for the end of times EP. I've never heard this before. It's like an EP, and I got it for free because someone I bought like CDs from online just put it in there, and I was like, cool, you know. So one of these days I do want to check that out, but kind of cool. Then we got Kalma with Swamp Lord. This is a really good album. It's weird because some of these early Kalma albums are getting a little bit harder to find for some reason. I'm not really sure why. But yeah, awesome album. If you like melodic death metal stuff, then yeah. Then we got Kalma with They Will Return. Really, really good stuff. And then we got Kalma with Swamp Song. So another really good album from them. And
their whole shtick is swamp.
I know, swamp this, swamp that. You know how it is. And then we got Kalma with the Black Waltz. I've heard that one a little bit. I'm kind of more familiar with the first three albums. And then afterwards, after high school, I kind of lost interest in them, and they kept releasing stuff that I never really heard much from. We got Kalma for the Revolution, so some of these later albums I picked up later in the hopes that I would give them more of a chance sometime. Right. Then we got Kalma with 12 Gauge, and then we got Kalma with Seventh Symphony. So I see what you did there.
Symphony.
And then we got Kalma with Palo. So finish for pole. No, I don't know. I'm not sure. So then we've got a
Nice.
this case is a little bit busted. Yeah. So we've got a lot of Camelot. Me and Kevin bought it when we were in high school. And I guess I'll let Kevin tell the story. But
I can tell the story.
Let me just say this real quick.
I'll tell it.
So basically, when me and Kevin split up, I rebought all the Camelots, and I wanted to make sure to get the original ones as well as the Japanese version ones. So we're going to just show off both of them. But Kevin, you tell a story about why we've got all these signed Camelot CDs.
Okay, so it's kind of cool because we knew a guy that worked at D Drum. He was like a friend of ours. Yeah. And there was a time that Casey Gorilla was signed to D Drum. So it was cool because actually the Ghost Opera tour, we got like free tickets or whatever through our friend, you know. Anyways, and so we had this like kind of connection to Camelot through D Drum. And then we were like, it's not like it was a closed event or anything, but there was this music store in Florida. I forget the name of the music store.
It was like Seminole Music or something.
Maybe, yeah. But like Casey Gorilla was going to do I guess like a drum clinic, you could call it, you know, there at this music store. So Ian and I were like, oh yeah, cool, we'll go there. And it was kind of funny because like our friend like talked to Casey Gorilla and was like, yeah, I've got these friends that are really into you guys. And Casey Gorilla was like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. And I think in Casey's mind, he was just like, sure, you know, they probably got into Ghost Opera, you know, whatever. Yeah. And we show up to the clinic, watch him play and everything. And then we bring our like binder of CDs and we're like, hey, you know, thanks for playing. Like, hey, can you sign all this Camelot stuff? And he was like, holy crap. I knew you guys like knew Packard and I knew you guys like were fans, but I didn't know you guys were like this much into it. Yeah. And so we had like all their albums basically
from that point,
from their first album up to Ghost Opera, because that was the newest one at the time. And so
even when we saw them on the Black Halo tour, even in that one, we were pretty close to the front. Right. And that was when Casey Gorilla was like, oh, you guys friends of Packer? Because he told them 2 redheads that are going to be like at your guys' show.
Yeah.
So then it was after the Ghost Opera tour. And I think who did we talk to after the Black Halo one? Because I thought we talked to maybe like Khan a tiny bit, or like the bassist Glenn Barry a little bit, or
maybe something. A little bit, because they were hanging out a little bit
with other people,
with the crowd of people. Yeah.
But I remember like just being kind of like, oh man,
thank you for the music.
You guys were awesome. Whereas Casey Grillo, like at that clinic, is when we like actually talked to him a little bit more. And one thing I was really surprised about was Casey Grillo was like, so like we had all our CDs there, so he was like scrolling through the CDs and he was like, oh yeah, Dream Theater, and like he was just kind of remarking about all the different bands and albums that we were into. And it was cool because he was not like a diva. He wasn't like when we would like talk and stuff, like he would like let you talk and stuff. Like I don't know, he was just a cool guy, you know, down to earth, pretty chill dude, you know.
And it's hard, like when you go to like concerts or when you like meet like musicians and things, it's difficult sometimes because it's like, you know, they've only got like this short amount of time or whatever, and they can't like
talk to everybody.
Like they can't hang out with you for hours,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So it's kind of like having that fine line of like being like respectful and not like, you know, but like, yeah, Casey was really cool and stuff. And, but we're the kind of people that we're like, well, we won't keep you and everything. But if the band member's like, oh yeah, you're cool. And like ask us questions or whatever, then that's an invitation to talk some more and stuff. Other times it's like, hey, thanks for the music. You know, I got a jet kind of thing, you know, body language. So anyways, but yeah, great band though.
Yeah. So here's a Camelot with Siege Perilous. And here's the one that's signed by Casey Grillo. So he's not with Camelot anymore, but man, he's a fantastic freaking drummer.
Yeah.
I remember hearing the story of how he like joined Camelot. They asked him if he knew how to do double bass, and he's like, sure. And then he like went home and practiced double bass just so that he could like prove that he could do it. And then he got hired as their drummer, and he's a great drummer. Pretty cool. I feel like this is where Camelot got freaking legendary.
Real quick as a side note, we also got that Pedals to the Metal DVD when we were there. As well as those signed sticks and everything. So those are still at my house and everything. Yeah. I've never opened them. I've never used them.
We got all that Camelot bling.
Yeah, all that bling.
Casey Grillo bling.
Yeah. So kind of cool.
Yeah. So here's Fourth Legacy. Here's the Japanese version. And then here's the version that we got signed from Casey. And yeah, I love this freaking album. I love the Middle Eastern influences. I love the story about like fighting for God and then being disillusioned with all the death and stuff, you know, like I love that. Like that's an awesome freaking
I like Siege Perilous, but I feel like this is the start of like their golden age. You know? Like I still like Siege Perilous.
Yeah, it's still a great album. But yeah, here's the Expedition. This is a live album that they did, so I guess I could just show off kind of what it looks like, you know, kind of cool, you know. It's got some bonus songs that, you know, were like hard to find or whatever, some rare tracks. And then we've got Camelot with Karma, continuing their masterpiece albums, you know. And one of them is, you know, the signed one, the old one, and then one of them is the Japanese one that I picked up later in life.
Yeah.
So kind of cool.
How do you guys feel about like signed stuff? Like for me, I don't mind it, you know, but I don't like feel like I have to get everything signed. You know, like there's some people that they'll go to shows, they'll specifically they have to get all their stuff signed in some kind of way. And I've never been a big like picture taker. I've never been you know,
me neither.
So I don't like, I'm okay getting stuff signed, but I don't feel like I
have to.
I'd say I'm there too. Like I'm not gonna go out of my way, but just having like dude, the freaking Zinnick dude signing that CD, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
Like,
and you got the Beast in Black.
Yeah, and the Beast in Black.
Yeah,
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So here's Epica. This was actually the first album that introduced me and Kevin to Camelot, and it was pretty cool. It didn't click immediately. It was kind of different for the time for what we were used to. But then once this album, and then later when Black Halo freaking clicked, then we were like, man, this band's freaking awesome. And this is the bonus, the European one with Like the Shadows bonus track. And then here are the two versions. This is the version that we had since high school, and this is the Japanese version with the bonus track. I think it's Snow, or no. This has Like the Shadows. That one has Snow. Yeah. So, kind of cool. Awesome freaking album, masterpiece. We'll probably do something with Camelot further down the road. Alrighty. And now we're moving on to Camelot. This is the one that me and Kevin had from high school. We bought it in a store that was going out of business, so we got it like super cheap, and that was pretty awesome. Masterpiece album, a top 5 album for me. Like, I just freaking love it. Like, it's
probably
awesome.
my third favorite album of all time.
Third. Dang.
I like Black Halo a lot.
It's up there. Yeah. Then we got the Japanese version. It's got the sturdy case. It's got, you know, picture of what is it called? Stickers. It's got stickers and all that
those things that stick to stuff.
Stickers. And this is the Camelot Ghost Opera that we picked up. This was like a limited edition that had like a bonus DVD with like a music video and stuff.
And he signed the little bonus DVD also, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So he was all like, "Oh, cool, you guys got this one." And I can't remember if he said that he hadn't seen this version yet or something.
Like he mentioned something along the lines like, because that's the interesting thing, like merchandise, the band, like how involved are they?
Or is the company, like the music company, putting out all this,
management, you know, all of that stuff. So you know, when we brought this
Pretty
ghost
dope.
opera to him, he was like, "Oh, cool! I hadn't seen this one."
Yeah,
And
yeah. That's how I remember it. You know,
Yeah.
he's like watching it. It's like, that's not how I remember it. So Ghost Opera. This album I always felt was like a step down from Black Halo, but
Right.
nowadays I still love it. It's an amazing freaking album. Like that for me is like their last album that I love to death. You know, from here on out, I still like their material, but it's like
Right.
that fourth legacy through Ghost Opera is just freaking
like
perfect. Like,
Yeah.
man, they had such a good freaking run.
Right.
And then we got some poetry for the Poisoned. One of these is the regular U.S. version, and one of them's the Japanese version.
And
So-
this album had to grow on me because I didn't care for it at first. You know?
Yeah, me
But
neither.
then, like, just in the last like 10 years, then I was like, wow, this is actually pretty good.
Yeah,
you know?
I agree. Like that one had to grow on me a lot. It was so much slower. It was more gothic-y, and I was just
Right.
kind of like, come on, Camelot. That was the last one with Roy Khan on vocals, and man, Roy Khan, like, man, he is just such a phenomenal. Yeah, he's irreplaceable. Like, oh man, he was just like the soul. I felt like he was like this. I know Tommy Youngblood is like kind of the main songwriter, like, but I think Roy Khan had a big influence on a lot of their like themes and music and lyrics and stuff as well. Because man, his voice and like the lyrics and stuff, his conviction, like, gosh dang.
I do feel like Khan had a lot of heart to him. You know, it really felt like he believed in what he was like saying, what he was seeing. You know, and I like vocalists that can really get into it and sing it and have that conviction, because some vocalists, they'll sing something and then they just go off and do their thing, and you know, and that's fine. But like, man, when a vocalist, they're like, it's really coming from the heart. It feels
You
good.
feel like the emotion through their freaking voice.
It just hits so much harder.
Yeah.
And then here's Silverthorn. One of these is the regular edition, and this one down here is the Japanese one. I wanted to get the Japanese ones because I wanted all those bonus songs. You know, like
Leaving Too Soon
Leaving
is
Too
great.
Soon is a fudging masterpiece song.
Yeah,
you know,
I like Leaving
So
Too
it was
Soon.
just kind of like, you know, I don't know. That's the reason why I went out of my way to get all their crap again, because you know I was just like, I want to get all this stuff. This is the regular version for Haven, the US version. Oh snap! I think there's a loose CD or something. So yeah, it comes. I think this is like a bonus disc of like instrumental stuff from the album.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember either. And then here's Haven with the Japanese version, and it's got like a kind of a bonus disc as well. So, anyways, kind of cool.
Yeah, you've got piano versions, acoustic versions, orchestral versions, instrumental versions. Yeah, so I guess it's the whole spiel. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's Camelot. This is Where I Reign. This was kind of just the greatest hits cash grab from the Noise years, 95 to 2003. And then we've got their last album. I don't have their newest album. It like just came out, you know. So this is the newest album that I have. This is the Shadow Theory. So this one had to grow on me. A lot of the Karavik albums kind of, there's some things I'm disappointed about with them, but then there's also some things I like, you know.
Right.
Like,
has the new album? When's the new album come out?
it just came out like last Friday. I think.
Last Friday? Okay.
Yeah. Maybe a week ago, or last Friday or something like that. Yeah. I'm looking to you.
I'm like,
help me out here. So, anyways,
that's all the Camelot.
Yeah, that's all the Camelot. So thank you for indulging us in our freaking Camelot fandom. Like, just an awesome band. And this is an OG, old school pressing for Catatonia's first album, Dance of December Souls. So kind of cool.
What year?
I think 93. Yeah, it's pretty old school.
We like Catatonia too.
Yeah, and then we also got the OG Brave Murder Day. This is on Avante-Garde Music, so kind of cool. That one's a pretty good album. I like that one. I like this one too, Discouraged Ones from Catatonia. So this is pretty cool.
I'm not as familiar with the 90s stuff, mostly the 2000s stuff.
And
And didn't they have like harsh vocals at first, or like he screwed his voice up, or
like the first album Jonas did vocals. The second album Jonas did clean vocals, but Michael Ockerfeldt did the guttural vocals on the second album. And then the third album onward, Jonas does like occasional screams, but it's more of the singing kind of dark, gloomy metal rock kind of stuff.
I feel like you're right, because I thought I heard that story also, that he like hurt his voice or something.
Yeah.
I thought that was the reason.
I know, because I was like,
I can't remember.
Yeah, I remember hearing that somewhere. I'm not as into him as you guys are, so that's why I was kind of asking.
Yeah,
I think I heard the same story.
Too. Here's the original Last Fair Deal Gone Down, and here's the reissue. I picked up these reissues because I wanted all the bonus songs, and it's got like different artwork and stuff. So kind of cool. And then also same here. Here's the original and the 10th anniversary for Viva Emptiness. One thing about the anniversary version, and I like that because it's like the girl as a child and the girl as a woman. It's like 10 years later. Like, I don't know, that's kind of cool.
That is
The
cool.
10th anniversary one, the last track, instead of being instrumental, they added like vocals. They also redid the drums because when they did the first Viva Emptiness album, they hated the way the drums sounded. Like, they just hated it. So that was one reason why they really wanted to kind of redo it, you know? And they also included a song they recorded back then also with Wait Outside. And that song is just fudging awesome. I wish that was on the original one because that song is just freaking sick. So I think the newer one sounds more lush. It sounds,
Sure.
I don't know, like on that hard drive, I've got both versions on there so you can listen to both because they're both different enough. It's not just like a remastered version of the original. Like there's few things that are kind of like sonically different. Yeah. Here's Brave Murder Yesterday. What is it? Brave Murder Yesterdays? Brave Yesterdays. So this is like a compilation of like their rare EPs and like just singles and just random stuff that they had in the 90s. So instead of buying those, I was like, I'm just going to pick that up and call it a day, you know? And then we got Catatonia. This is the first one that I got into, like my first exposure to them. This is The Great Cold Distance. And I got the reissue as well to get the bonus songs. Those are pretty good too. Unfurl and was it Dissolving Bonds? Yeah, Dissolving Bonds and Displaced. Like there's just some good songs on here. I love this album. I think it's a masterpiece. Just really freaking awesome. That one's probably always going to be my favorite Catatonia album. Then we also got Catatonia, Night is a New Day. This is the version with the bonus tracks. And I'm saying this because, like, dude, you got to get, like, Ashen and, like, some of those bonus songs. Like, those are such good songs.
Loose Heart.
Loose Heart. And like...
They're great.
Yeah, those are great. Catatonia is kind of like Sonata Arctica in the sense where a lot of their bonus songs are really good, too.
Right.
So you're kind of like, man, like, if you only get the albums and ignore some of those songs, like, you're missing out on some good stuff, you know?
This is probably my favorite album from them. I like Night is a New Day.
Yeah, and Chad's Viva Emptiness. So all three of us, those three albums are like our favorites.
Yours is The Great Cold Distance?
Yeah, Great Cold Distance.
Yeah. And I get it, yeah.
Yeah, all three of those are fantastic, though. Here's Dead End Kings, really good album. One thing about some of Catatonia's newer albums is I feel like I have to listen to them more for them to grow on me, you know? For whatever reason, like they remind me of Dark Tranquillity, where they're a band that I always like, but it always takes a long time for me to like love their albums.
Really like,
you know? Here's The Fall of Hearts from Catatonia, so kind of cool. And then we also got City Burials. This one I was a little bit disappointed. I liked it, but I didn't love it. And I think that's another one that I just need to listen to more for me to get it, you know? Then we got Catatonia, Sky Void of Stars. I actually think this CD looks really cool. Like, it's got this orange brass kind of tint on it. Like, I don't know. I really appreciate when people have, like, cool colors or, I don't know, really cool artwork or something.
Instead
of
just doing black all the time.
Yeah, instead of doing black all the time. And
black serves its purpose for sure, but, like,
Yeah, and then we got KO. Choirs of the Eye. Dude, I remember listening to this album back in high school because I was, like, all about trying to find weird avant-garde kind of stuff.
Right.
And that one, that Picture of Summer song, I remember listening to that song over and over and over again. And it is kind of a weird album. And I'm not the biggest KO. Fan. Some other stuff, like, just didn't really do much for me, so I never got into it. But that album and this one, Habardo, are the two albums that, like, I actually kind of like, you know. Not a huge KO. Fan, but, you know, those are pretty cool. And then we got Keep a Callison with Armada. This is, like, melodic black metal stuff. These, I kind of got them because they were insanely cheap, you know? Like, I like them, but I don't love them. But I was just like, dude, for like $2 or $3 for some of these, I was kind of like, might as well. Yeah. Then we got Colossus. And then we got Reptilian with Keep of Callison. And then this was actually the first one I ever heard from them. This is the one that people don't like, but I actually really liked it. So I was kind of like, it's kind of epic. Remind me of Borknagar. It's got that epic kind of black metal sound to it. So yeah, here's Epistemology. Whew, alrighty. We are about halfway through. I think we'll go a little quicker now that, you know, we passed through all the Camelot we had to talk through and stuff. And yeah. So here's Kekel, Embrace the Dead. This is an Indonesian kind of experimental black metal, avant-garde metal kind of band. They have a ton of electronic stuff too. Here's The Painful Experience from them.
I forgot about these guys.
Yeah. Yeah, here's like their best album, or at least to me. Here's 1,000 Thoughts of Violence. Kind of cool, you know. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. If you want black metal stuff that's challenging, then you'll like these guys. I know. Then we got Kekel with Acidity. This one's also pretty good. This one I didn't care as much for. Here's The Habit of Fire from Kekel. And then also here's Kekel with 8. I believe this is 8. Yeah, 8. So this one actually is a newer one that I picked up. It was like fairly cheap. They've been releasing albums, but I haven't been following them the last like 10 years. Like I've heard a tiny bit here and there, but I just there's so much stuff out there. And here's the problem is in high school I was checking out only metal, so I was able to dive deep in bands with what they had at the time.
Right.
After high school I was jumping into all these other genres, so it was harder for me to jump deep into metal as much in the last 15 years because I was jumping deeper or wider in other genres. So it's like if metal was the only thing I was listening to, it was so much easier to give so much time to these artists.
Yeah.
And now I'm spread too thin, you know.
Just do what you can.
Yeah. So that's the first Chaldean album. And that one is pretty. Oh, I have these upside down. Whoops. But that one is pretty good. I like the next two more, but you know.
I got into this band somewhere when this album was brand new, so around 2008 or so. I got into this band, and I loved it immediately. I was just like, oh, this is fantastic. And
we did our review.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah, so that was fun.
So check out our video on our channel of us covering, like doing a review and an analysis on Journey of Souls. So
really dope stuff. Yeah, they're one of those bands. These first 4 albums are all pretty solid. Like I like them all. I haven't listened much to the newest one. Here's the Bloodwater Rebellion. I still need to freaking digest that, so I'm not sure if it's really all that good. I listened to a few songs, but that was kind of it, you know.
Right.
Then we got Killing Joke. This is a band that started out as a punk band, but then in the 90s they turned more into an industrial metal band. So it's kind of like we're just including all of their stuff anyways. And I think I got the OG presses for a lot of these punk ones, so kind of cool. That's a really good album. It's post-punky, but I don't know, it's got some cool kind of...
With the name, is there any reference to the Batman comic, or did this come out before?
This came out way before, because that one came out... Didn't that come out in the late 80s when Killing Joke came out?
I don't know the exact date.
It was like May 6th, 1988. No, I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. But I know it wasn't before 1980 because I was when that. Yeah.
Okay, then.
Guys, we don't read comic books.
No. This is just a curious thing.
You two read a lot more than I do, but
I cheat and like watch like videos because
Yeah, we got Killing Joke with What's This For? And then this is their third album. This is Killing Joke with Revelations.
So the next video we're gonna do a big old comic book collection.
Here's Killing Joke with Fire Dances. Some of these ones I haven't really listened to that much. I've heard this one though. I like this one. So here's Killing Joke with Nighttime. This one has that famous song. It's 80s. Do you guys remember that one that has that riff that sounds like "Come As You Are"?
Yeah,
whatever,
the Nirvana.
You know, it's just like it sounds like 80s. Yeah, and then we got Killing Joke. Here's Brighter Than 1,000 Suns. So, OG. I wonder how much for some of these ones. I wonder how hard some of these are to get. You know, because I got these a few years ago, but I don't know. And then here's Outside the Gate from Killing Joke. Some of these I did pay quite a bit for. Like this one I paid like $20 or something to get. Because, I think some of these are a little bit harder to find. But I don't quote me on that, you know. I actually like that album cover. I think it's kind of cool. It's got this like paranoid sort of like look about it. The way the eyes are all. Yeah. And this is the first thing I this is the first album I really heard. Here's Laugh, I Nearly Bought One. This is like a greatest hits kind of thing. So it kind of had a few songs from all of their 80s stuff. Came out in like 92 or something. So that was kind of my first foray into Killing Joke. Well, maybe I listened to Nighttime before that one. But either way, it was kind of an early one where I was kind of getting more familiar with their stuff. And their industrial metal stuff, I'm actually not that familiar with. I listen more to their 80s stuff than I have their 90s and 2000 onward stuff. So here's Pandemonium. I guess it's industrial metal, but I've never heard it before. Here's Killing Joke with Democracy. And this one I've actually been spinning lately. Here's their self-titled, the 2003 self-titled album. And this is actually a really good album. I really like it. I think it's really cool. So some good old industrial metal, industrial rock stuff. And then here's Hosannas from the Basement of Hell. This is, I think, another industrial metal album, but I haven't jumped into that one yet. So there's still some that I need to kind of work on. Another thing too is one reason why I sometimes pick up a lot of like CDs from a band, even though I haven't heard a lot of them, is sometimes I have this fear of like, man, if I don't get it now, will it be hard to get later? You know, because some of these FOMO, dude. Because I'm like, man, like, yeah, because if I'm buying CDs and then I see it, then I'm kind of like, I'm gonna pick up that too. Might as well, you know, instead of here's Absolute Descent from Killing Joke. For example, this album is a little bit hard to find. This is their 2012 album, but this one's like a little bit harder to find. And you're kind of like, man, if you had bought it a decade ago, it wouldn't have been that hard, you know? Right. But for some reason, in the 2010s, there's a lot of Spine Farm records that are harder to find for whatever reason. I'm not really sure why. So that's the last Killing Joke album I ever got. And I need to, a lot of those I just need to dive more deeper into. But kind of cool band. Actually, the Porcupine Tree bassist dude, the Edwin, Colin Edwin guy, is actually a big Killing Joke fan. I'm like, that's cool. Alrighty, so we've got King Diamond with Fatal Portrait. I picked up these like 2000, I think they're 2019, like, I just want to show this. These are like vinyl replica CDs. So they like kind of look like vinyl kind of thing. Cool. Yeah, I thought they looked pretty cool. So the first 5 albums, I picked them up because I didn't think I would get more of their stuff. I was like, I'll just be happy with those 5. And then I started picking up all their other albums, and I was kind of like, man, I kind of want to get the original OGs for some of these ones. But who knows, maybe down the road. Here's King Diamond with Abigail. I really like this album, really good. I used to have it on CD. It was an OG one back in high school, but then I sold it because I was just kind of dumb. So I was like, what are you going to do? And then here's King Diamond with Them. So kind of cool. And then we also got King Diamond with Conspiracy. So all of these first 5 albums, I wouldn't mind like maybe getting the OGs sometime in the future, you know. Right. And then we got King Diamond with The Eye. Oh, pretty cool. And then we also got King Diamond with The Spider's Lullaby. And then onward here, these albums I haven't heard that much. I was just kind of listening a lot to the 80s stuff, and I was like, I'm going to pick up these because, you know, some of them were cheaper, or like, so I was just kind of like, they were a band that I was kind of like, I think I'm going to dig more of their stuff. So I need to dive more into these. So that's The Graveyard. And then we also got King Diamond with Voodoo. And most of these albums are kind of concept albums. They all have like stories and stuff related to them and whatnot. So
a story about being in a haunted house.
Yeah. So if you like, you know, kind of horror themed concept albums and stuff, like all these like King Diamond albums are pretty much stories. And then we got Abigail 2, The Revenge. Never heard that one. And then we also got King Diamond, The Puppet Master. So kind of cool.
Dude, like you hear King Diamond all the time, but I have never jumped into any of their albums. Or, I know a tiny bit, but
you just know the guy has a high falsetto.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
this is an album that Kevin picked up. I haven't listened to it that much, so it's like a best of King's X.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm not the biggest King's X fan, but it's okay.
This is kind of one of those bands that it like dabbles maybe a tiny bit in metal, you know. I just included it because why not? Here's double platinum. Yeah. It's like a Kiss greatest hits kind of thing. So.
Oh wow! So you just have a Kiss greatest hits? That's it?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I don't have any
guys. All right.
Oh, has your respect grown for us a little bit, or like, or did you just not know we had it?
Oh no! Like I thought you'd have like more Kiss albums. I guess.
Oh, no. He just thought we owned everything.
Kind of.
I see what you mean. I just never was a huge Kiss fan, so I was kind of like, I'm just gonna get greatest hits and call it good. Yeah. But I don't know. Down the road, like same thing with Alice Cooper. Like down the road. If I suddenly am like, man, Kiss is freaking sick, man, I gotta get their album, then I'll cross that bridge when I get there. Yeah, but for now, I'm like fine with greatest hits. Here's Korn's first album, Korn.
Yeah, dude.
This is like your childhood.
Yeah, this is my childhood.
Here's Korn, Life is Peachy. And that's what's funny is like when I was young, I liked a few Korn songs, but I never loved them. For me, the new metal stuff that was kind of my stuff that I grew up with, like Linkin Park and POD and some of that kind of stuff. That was kind of the new metal stuff that I was into. And then we got Follow the Leader. Actually, a pretty good album, you know, pretty cool. And then we also got Korn with Issues.
Oh, Kevin, no comment?
I like Got the Line. I like Freak on the Leash. I like Trash. That's about it.
Here's Korn, Greatest Hits Volume 1. I actually was disappointed in that Greatest Hits, to be honest. I was like, I don't know. There's some songs on there that I'm like...
single.
It's just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyways, I do want to dive deeper into Korn because they aren't a band that I grew up listening to their albums. So I want to, because I know that they're pretty influential, and I want to give them more of a listen and stuff down the road. Here's Corporate Kalani, Spirit of the Forest. So if you like folk metal, here you go. And then here's Voice of Wilderness from Corporate Kalani. This was the Corporate Kalani CD that got me into them. When this came out, I was like, this is really cool. I listened to Happy Little Boozer, and I was just like, what are you going to do, man? This is freaking awesome. So this is probably my favorite from them, Tales Along the Road. And then we've got Corporate Kalani with Tervascanto. And also, this is another band, dude, like a couple years ago, I bought them for like a few bucks from a Nuclear Blast Black Friday sale. So I got a crap ton of these, and I was just like, cool. Here's Corvin Kunengas.
They're another like workaholic band.
Yeah, they release an album every year. Yeah. Like they work pretty hard.
I did see these guys live, and I was a little bit disappointed with the live performance. Yeah. But I think because they played 2 shows, one was on the upper pad of the ship, and then the other one was in the more closed like theater kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so they played a lot more of the moody, slow, like the pagan, whatever stuff.
They're like banging drums.
And exactly. All the slow stuff, and they didn't do any of like the Happy Boozer drinking stuff. Yeah. And it was like, so I was like, I guess I went to the wrong show.
Yeah. That's Carcello. I actually really like that album. That one's probably my second favorite from them. Really fun album from them. No. Actually, not that one. It's Manala. That's the other one. I was like, wait a minute. I'm remembering now. Here's Yukon Waka. I haven't listened to that one, so I don't know. Here's the one that I've listened to a little bit more, and I was just like, dude, this one's actually like pretty cool.
I don't know. Have you listened to a lot of their first 2 albums? Because I actually like those 2.
Those 2 are pretty good. The second one was kind of but the first one I like a lot more, Honestly, those first 3, Tervascanto and Manala, are the 5 that I've listened to more.
Yeah,
the rest, I don't think I've ever spun.
I'm mostly familiar with the first 4. I'm not familiar with Manala at all.
Here's Noida. But dude, Manala's pretty good. Like, I was surprised. Like, I was really digging it. And then we got Cotopelta with Waiting for the Dawn. This is one that I picked up from someone because they had other stuff and it was super cheap. Right. And what's funny is on that album, he's got Michael Romeo on some guitars. He's got freaking Miko Harkin on keyboards. Like, he's got some great musicians to, like, play with him. So I'm kind of like, one day I do want to spin that album to kind of hear it because he's got a lot of talented people playing on that. So here's Covenant with SCTI. This is actually kind of a cool cyber metal, industrial metal, weird metal album. Kind of fun. And then here is Creator, Enemy of God. This is an album that Kevin really enjoyed, so I saw it from somebody and picked it up because I was just like, oh, cool.
I'm not the biggest Creator fan, but I do want to branch out a bit more, especially in like some of the German thrash and stuff.
Yeah. I want to give more of a listen to, even though I've given them a pretty good shot, but it's been a while.
Yeah, I want to give them more of a listen as well. Here's Kriegsmaschine. This is basically like a side project, maybe the original band of the Mugwa guys. So on this first album, it didn't have, can't even remember the guy's name. But anyways, the Mugwa drummer, he's not on this album, but he's on the later Kriegsmaschine albums. So anyways, kind of just like a nihilistic, brutal black metal kind of stuff,
More like another good Polish band.
Yeah. So here's Kriegsmaschine with Enemy of Man. So kind of cool. It's like M and Darkside. I think Darkside is the drummer and M is like the vocal, guitar, bass, does everything else. Both of them are like in this band too. Here's Apocalypticists. I've actually only kind of dived into the first one, so I need to give these guys more of a listen as well. But I was kind of like, I loved Mugwa, so I was kind of like, I want to check into these ones too.
Give them a shot.
Right.
Here's Crypteria, Blood Angels Cry, Kevin's band. There's some good songs on there.
Yeah, this is one of those bands that like, it's a little bit heavier than Evanescence. Yeah. But I feel like it's very commercial, if that sounds right. So I feel like it gets a pretty bad rap. And I'm like, I like this album. It's a bit of a guilty pleasure, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, I like this album.
Hey, I like Skylark. A lot of people are going to make fun of me for that. But what are you going to do?
I like Skylark too, though.
Yeah. Here's Kvelertak. This is kind of like a blend of punk with black metal kind of stuff. And here's Kvelertak with Mir. Kind of cool. Good stuff. And then here's Caius. This is a band. This is Blues for the Red Sun. Yeah. this is one of those bands where I didn't think I would like because this is like more stoner rock, stoner metal kind of stuff. But then I listened to this album, Welcome to Sky Valley, and I was like, this is actually like pretty good, you know. So then I just picked up both of those two albums for fairly cheap, and yeah, I need to listen to them a little bit more. They're kind of a newer band to me because the genre just was like. It took me a while to even check them out, you know, but I was like pleasantly surprised.
Right.
So here's Chad's case.
And this.
That's the Cocky Avatar.
Yeah,
I got two.
Yeah, he got two, and I was like, dude, I'll take it. I still haven't listened to it, but
one day we'll listen to those and stuff.
And then Kalma, they will return. Ian and Kevin, well, Ian more so kind of pushed these guys, and I was like, yeah, dude, I was really digging it. I need to jump more into them though.
Because even back then, I haven't really gotten much into Kalma much. Okay. You know, it's more of an Ian band.
I was like maybe Ian.
Yeah.
And then Camelot, Epica.
This is more Kevin's band.
Yeah. You guys been pushing Camelot for so long, and it's finally like clicking for me. I'm not super familiar with their stuff, but
they're not, at least you don't like dislike it.
Yeah,
or, like,
yeah.
It's
Black,
not,
and there's Black Halo, which I need to give a listen to.
Dope album.
Then we got Catatonia, Night is the New Day. I definitely need to get some more Catatonia. Yeah. We got Chaldean, Heaven's Gate. Dang man, you guys hooked me up with a lot of CDs.
Yeah.
And then Chaldean, Journey of Souls. Awesome. And then we got Korn, Issues. I used to have all their stuff from up to Issues. After Issues, I kind of stopped listening to them. I guess I grew up.
I was thinking of the same joke, but no.
But dude, like, I don't know, in middle school, like, yeah, dude, Korn, Mudvayne, and Slipknot, like, that new metal was just, I fudging loved it, dude. Like,
yeah.
I was just some angsty teenager just listening to new metal, freaking, you know.
But I mean, that stuff was fun to go back to.
And it was the first music that like I saw it on MTV, and like it was my own. It wasn't like from my dad's influence. And, yeah. Just holds a special place for me, even though it's cheesy as crap. And then Corporate Colony, which I need to jump into more. I know I'm gonna like some stuff. You've already shown me stuff that I like from it, but I'm not super familiar. And then Corporate Colony. Give me some help.
Corbin Kunengas.
Thank you.
I had
some finished stuff.
I had a coworker that I showed some Corporate Colony to and everything, and I think he was digging it. I think he kind of got into it, but I also think he likes drinking, and so I think it's just like
I feel like
really,
dude, it's just.
He's just like, Corbin Colony.
Yeah.
And then Creator, Gods of Violence. Man, I was so disappointed.
Is that one just like... Just not as interesting riffs?
Just really forgettable, and like there's some repetitive stuff that I feel like just didn't like sometimes with the chants and the repetitive stuff it'll get you going, but this I just like it's like shut up.
I mean it looks like a cool album.
It looks cool. I don't know, maybe I'm being harsh on it. I don't know. Like I said, I need to jump more into Creator. I know there's certain albums I like, but Yeah.
I need to listen to them more too.
And
sorry, Creator. We all need to listen. to them.
we're gonna get there, guys.
We're gonna get there.
Well, anyways, that's K's.
K's, yeah.
Yep, we are Forgotten Legends of Sound. So thanks for watching, everybody.
Yeah, take care.